If you've ever looked at the compass that's usually almost always found inside the on top of the dashboard of pretty much any aircraft, and you wonder what was inside of it, well, let me show you. First, this faceplate comes off. Then you have the body of the compass, and I have this already removed because I'm working on replacing it with a new one, but you would have your lighting assembly. There's a little light bulb in there that's all wired. That comes out. If you have ever swung a compass or been involved with swinging a compass, maybe helped a mechanic do it, you have these compensator screws. And compensator screws are in this assembly right here, which is pretty interesting. You have a lot of brass here. There's your two adjustment screws for north, south, east, and west. This one turns a worm screw, which turns this shaft right here. And if you look closely at it, there's obviously something in this shaft that actually is magnetic to give some sort of interference to the compass to allow for adjustment of, I'm not sure which one that would be. As you can see, just putting my steel screwdriver near the compass affects it though. And so basically what you're doing with these calibration screws is you're very slightly moving something that is magnetic or ferrous ever so slightly underneath the compass card to affect its precision, which is how you get it to be correct over all of the circle. I can't remember, it's like 4 degrees or something. It's been years since I actually had to calibrate one. But both of these actually are hooked to have your screw over here, which you should use a non-magnetic screwdriver and not a magnetic one like I'm doing. But by turning these, you actually change, and they have a gear reduction to them in diameter, but those shafts rotate as you turn them, and that changes whatever magnetic thing is inside of here in its relationship to how close or far away it gets from the compass. And these are precisely set to be, you know, the center of the compass is probably about right here, and so it is moving something closer or further, and the same thing over here, closer or further, for your east and west and north and south adjustments. And the interesting thing I found is that this assembly actually does not come with a new compass. You actually have to remove it from the old one, and it's literally just held in the body of the compass by friction. Look at the sides right there, you can see those divots. Those actually are what squeeze it in place. And then over here you have the screw on the end, and what that does is it actually keeps you from going too far in either direction. You actually hit the end and stop, and you can go back the other way. Whereas I don't see something similar for this one, so maybe this one you can actually go all the way around with. But just found it interesting, and if you ever wonder what was inside your compass, now you know a little bit more. So once you get the body of the compass out of the compass housing on the glare shield, if you wanted to take it apart further, as you can see, this gasket has shrunk. It's a cork gasket, and that has allowed the tension on the edges of the glass to change and allowed the oil to come out. I'll show you what I mean here. So you unscrew those little screws in each of the corners of the faceplate, and now we're down to the failed gasket, which allowed the tension on the glass to change, allowed the oil to leak out. But continuing the disassembly, this is your glass, this is the face, and there is a seal back here for the oil, as well as gasket, but this seal has failed. So I could continue to pour oil in here, and it's just going to continue to leak out. The compass card is right there. There's your, I guess they call it the lubber line on ships, but that's basically the line that lets you know your alignment with the compass card. And then you have the actual body of the compass. This screw is how it's actually secured right there into the back of the housing that kind of keeps it all contained. And then here on the top you have your filler plug, which it's interesting because I kind of think from the FARs and what I've read, I really shouldn't even be opening that and putting oil in it. That really needs to go to a compass shop. But because this one is leaking, and it actually seems to be leaking from that end as well as this end, tells me that we get real seal issues. So we just ordered a new one. They're not crazy expensive. And looking inside the body of the compass, get it flipped over here, see that center post right there? That is what it pivots on. It may even have a diamond, or it could just be plastic that it rotates on. And you can kind of see the shape of the actual magnet there on the bottom of the card, and it's just designed so that that peg always keeps it perfectly balanced. But notice how jerky it is, and the fact that this thing can't keep oil in it is why it had to be replaced, because with the vibration of the aircraft, this compass could never settle down. Sometimes it would spin, sometimes it would just kind of sort of hang off one place or the other, and it would also just vibrate back and forth from the vibration of the engine. So oil damps all that out and keeps it on an even keel, and without the oil, it's essentially useless.